I got beef with Tony Jaw. And I'ma rearrange that jaw if he keeps acting up. Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Jesse and I'm the founder and grandmaster of MMA, Mexican martial arts. People are influenced by what they see. They watch Bruce Lee, they want to be like him. They watch Jet Li, they want to be like him. They watch Shane Faison, and they want to be like me. So you got to think about the content that you're putting out into the world, because people are going to watch it and then they're going to try it in the streets. I know what you're thinking. Isn't Ong Bak old already? Yes, but there's a lot of clips on YouTube, and we already know that these days most martial arts are learned on YouTube.
I mean, anybody can learn on YouTube.
It's the 20s, and even though there are some other fools out there to be dealt with, today is Tony Jaw. The fight starts off with a crescent kick, followed by a tornado kick, then a hook kick. Of course, he dodges all of these, only to be dropped by a side kick. Tony Jaw is like Jackie Chan, an acrobat, not a fighter. Of course, he's trained in the art of that flying, spinning, backflipping tomfoolery, but when someone steps up to him with the good old-fashioned side kick, game over. But he's the star of the movie, and they're not gonna let him go out like that. So that fool hops up like a Power Ranger, which is ill-advised and a great way to get socked in the face. Unless your opponent's name is Putty, don't ever do this. This next move is one of the most notable moments from the entire film. And it was very kind of this gentleman to stick his knee out for Tony to step on, as well as his arm for extra support if needed. The last time someone was this cooperative while getting beat up was not that long ago. And as the fight goes on, you start getting the feeling that maybe these fools aren't really trying to fight him. Maybe they're just there to make him look good. This fool is so preoccupied with looking good and showing off, he straight up busts into a kata right in the middle of the fight. Fortunately, he's derailed by his kryptonite, another side kick. But I want you to notice something that I almost missed right here, because I was all caught up in the sidekick shenanigans. After he knocks this fool down, he kicks his homie. Then he turns back to the first one, and scope this out. It's a different guy! Hey, Tony, I know that you like to brag and talk about how that you didn't use any wires or special effects or anything like that, but you can't just be switching fools in the middle of a fight either. And look at how he's moving around. He's scared. Pobrecito. The actor probably called in that day and they had to throw in the sound guy. But I don't blame the sound guy for being scared. I mean, look at the power of Tony, kicking fools from several feet away, creating air current, or chi, if you will. And although he excels in power, he lacks intelligence. He seems to have no awareness of economy of motion and spins in the air like 3 times just to kick this fool in the stomach. He should have just re-stomped the groin.
Re-stomp the groin.
My only guess for what happened next is that he was trying to compensate for some poor decision making with even more flashiness. You could see that originally he checked the leg kick, checked the head kick, teeped him, and then appeared to load up for what I could only assume would be a roundhouse kick. However, he must have changed his mind when it came time to edit the film. Because when it cuts, he's no longer throwing the roundhouse. Instead, he's throwing a low-budget helicopter kick. In case you don't know what that is, the homie Ramsey Dewey is gonna break it down for you.
Helicopter kicks, so many helicopter kicks everywhere. Helicopter kicks all over the place.
So he already fought the sound guy, strike 1. And now he's editing the fight to make himself look better. Strike 2. Now I don't know a lot about baseball, but my Tio Beto has 2 strikes. It's time to chill, Tony. So immediately after the helicopter kick, we have a fake knee break. Strike 3. You're out, Tony. Normally, I would end my video right here, but YouTube doesn't like it when my videos are less than 10 minutes long, and they mess up my stats.
Now YouTube wants you to upload more than 10 minutes.
Fortunately, there's a lot of fight left. But to revisit the knee for a moment, Tony simply bends this fool's knee forward, and we're supposed to believe that it's a break. Hey, if your knee cracks like that just from bending it, it's not broken. That's arthritis. Now listen, I've never had my leg fake broken in a movie before. Maybe if I did, I would also let some fool spin around in the air 2 times and then lower my head for his kick instead of simply taking a step back. But that's just me. I also wouldn't be hurt by the kick that followed. These types of kicks are not effective in a real life situation. These types of kicks are referred to as tricking because they try to trick you into thinking that they actually work. But it's not only us viewers on the receiving end of this trickery. Tony himself forgets one of the most important aspects of combat, and he gets tricked into fighting his opponent's fight.
Fight, yo, fight!
Tony's laying on the ground because he felt that his flashy yet ineffective kick was worth falling down and ending up in a precarious position. His attacker does a forward flip and kicks him. Tony is a prideful man. An eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, forward flipping kick for forward flipping kick. And his eagerness for revenge blinds his ability to make a good decision. As you could see, Tony positioned himself to get his dome soccer kicked. Other options will be a knee, DDT, or simply walking away because this fool flipping in the air in the middle of a fight is no longer a threat. In my opinion, I think this fool had a pretty generous amount of time to get out of the way. But again, I get the feeling that he's really only there to make Tony look good. Speaking of making Tony look good, the sound guy's back in the fight. Tony already knows that this fool does not pose a threat, so he decides to get creative and posterize him. That's gacho, Nacho. And then this kick to the throat right here, that was actually pretty firme. But then he has to go and do stuff like this again. That wasn't even a kick. His patas just slid down that fool's chest, and then he pretended to fall back. Tony caused more damage to his own back than to his opponent. But we've already established that Tony has no problem with misleading the audience in this movie. Por ejemplo, check out this fool that's pulling on the rope that Tony's homie's hanging from. He's putting all of his strength into it. I mean, look at that grimace. That's how you know it's real. Oh, but wait a minute. Now he's only holding it with one hand. His left hand. His weaker hand. Now I just so happen to know that approximately 10% of the world is left-handed because I just Googled it. So chances are, this fool's not left-handed. And not only is he now holding it with one hand, which is his weaker hand, now he's swinging a sword with the other hand. This is like a cartoon. Does Tony keep his distance because this fool is swinging a sword? Does he grab one of those bamboo sticks and smack him in the face because both of his hands are incapacitated? Does he do anything that any rational human being would do in this situation? No. He flies over the table into a backward flip toward the sword. And I don't think I have to tell you that, of course, he was okay and the bad guy went down. Now these fools work by the hour, and the whole time that Tony was over here killing all this fool's co-workers, he's like, hey, I'm trying to get double time. But Tony killed the fool that was holding the other side of the saw, so there was nothing left to do but fight at this point. What I think is interesting is that Tony flies around, jumps, does backflips, but the moment someone moves toward him with the saw, he goes like this. But then of course, He gets out of it. His friend intervenes. His friend gets his arm broken. And then, same old vengeful Tony reciprocates by breaking that fool's leg, which either he actually tore off or they just didn't do a good job hiding the prop. But that's irregular. And as if we haven't already seen enough poor decision making from Tony, he takes it to the next level. We've seen him put himself in some bad situations, but this time, he's straight up cheating. He already took out the lower level minions, and now he's getting ready for the boss. So he busts out the picograms and loads his rap. And then he spits on his arms. I don't really think it helped, but how am I gonna make a video about the fight and not mention that fool spit on his own arms? So now he's in the final fight, the boss. And the first thing that fool does is run toward him and jump in the air with his arms out at his sides. Did he think that he was gonna hurt him with the T-pose or what? Okay, it happens. So you regroup and you try something else. Nope, he just jumped straight into the air again. So now they go back and forth a little, and that makes sense. You gotta make the boss fight worth it, you know? I wanna shout out the workers right here for keeping their heads down and minding their own business. If those were my co-workers, they'd be trying to get it on their phone for World Star. Not only did Tony Jaa copy the helicopter kick from Van Damme, he copied the instant replay as well. I couldn't believe that this fool decided to give himself the instant replay right in the middle of the fight. It felt so narcoleptic, you know? But it caused me to take a closer look. And because of that instant replay, I realized that Tony's not even fighting the real guy. Look at this fool's hair in this shot. And then look at the next guy. He looks like one of the Beatles. In the biz, they call this a stunt double. And the reason for that is that it stunts the integrity of the film. At least they're honest about it. I guess I spoke too soon about the workers. But I like the look on the old guy's face right here. He looks like John Kavanaugh when McGregor was fighting Khabib. But this fool didn't like that look. He was insulted by it. And it threatened his toxic masculinity. So he went full John Jones and leveled up. As he does this, Tony's still over there fighting with the workers. Honestly, I don't get it. Those fools must get benefits. If someone showed up to my work like that, acting up, I'm gonna go on break. I don't get paid enough. But Tony wasn't cutting them any slack either. This guy was never gonna make it all the way across. But Tony still decided to crouching tiger hidden dragon that fool, which clearly he felt was worthy of another replay. But we already know what happens when showboating goes wrong. Fools enter the frame and drop kick you in the face. The kicks that followed didn't appear to be too threatening though. They actually reminded me of a fight that I saw on YouTube a long time ago. But he keeps doing work and moves on to a choke. Tony's almost out. But then he looks at the statue and he's like, oh snap, the movie's not over yet. So he breaks out of the choke and throws the Yair Rodriguez elbow. Then after a couple more elbows, he starts scratching him for some reason. Then he goes into this weird sequence of elbow strikes. I can't even do the last one. I think my arms are too big. Hey, straight up, tell me this fool doesn't look like Michael Jackson. Of course he's gonna stand there and let Tony climb in. Game over. Mira, I could watch Tony Jaa fight all day, just for the entertainment. The problem is that people don't know how to tell this from reality, and they're gonna replicate it, and they're gonna get hurt. If you wanna learn Muay Thai that will actually work in a real life alteration, then you need to scope out Mexican Muay Thai. Not only is it my favorite video that we have ever made on this channel, it also got demonetized because we played the Rocky song for way too long. But if you want to help support the channel so that I could keep making these videos, then please consider joining the Patreon for only $1 a month, or picking up some merch, or following on social media, or all three, homie. Thank you for watching Mexican Martial Arts. Appreciate it. Good looking out. Late. I just want to say thank you for making it to the end of my video. And I just want to let you know that if you will be willing to do it, any likes, comments, any other type of engagement at all will greatly help the channel. I remember a few uploads ago when I did the Max Holiday versus Volkanovski, I put out a plea to you and asked you to help me out with engagement, and I had an overwhelming response. People just putting like one letter or saying, here's my comment to help support you, just stuff like that. I can't even tell you how much that meant to me just to see the support come through like that. If you would consider doing it from time to time, that would make a huge deal to me and my channel, because when YouTube sees that, it goes and they show more of my videos. Thank you very much for watching, and please consider watching one of the videos right here.